everyone, it's Jen from Creative Housewives, and today I am here to teach you how to use your Cricut Joy and some scrap vinyl to create cute little personalized tumblers that have names on them. This is a really inexpensive and cute project that you can do using any Cricut machine. We're just cutting vinyl, so you can use any Cricut machine, and you can also use up all those little scraps. So I have there's stuff behind me also, but I have so many little scrap pieces of material that I keep because I always know there's going to be a project that I could make them or make using them, and today they came in handy. So on this cup I used just a cute little pink background. There was no pink in the snowflakes, but I thought it looked really cute. So pink background with red vinyl. On this cup I used white with green, and then on this cup I just used black and red. So a couple of reasons why I wanted to make this project. One is I love layering vinyl. I think it looks really great, and especially with the offset feature, I think offset has really changed like layering things like names and stuff on tumblers. I think that's a really fun project to do. Also, I found these tumblers. They were $1.48. I found them at Walmart. I will try to find a link for them to see if they're online, but the straw doesn't come out. I love that feature. So my kids are not little. I don't have like little kids that I have to worry about them spilling all the time. Obviously they spill, not all the time, but my kids like to take hot chocolate with them in the mornings during the winter to school. And I loved this idea for a couple of reasons. One, they each know which cup is theirs, and they have just like a little cup. They can take it with them. It wasn't expensive. It's not like a glass mug. It has a lid. It's probably not completely spill proof, but it's all self-contained. So I really like that. I also like that because it has their name, if it gets left in the car or sits in the sink or anything like that, like they can each be responsible for their own cup. My guess is I'll make them hot chocolate in the morning. They're going to leave. They're going to take it in the car. It'll be gone by the time they get to school. So it'll just sit in the car until they come home from school. So now this is a great way to be like, Lila, your cup is in the car, or we have all the cups sitting here, Morgan, your cup is missing, or whatever it is. So I think it's really fun, super simple. Again, I just used a few fonts in Design Space, less than probably 8 inches total of vinyl. And I'm talking like 8 by 2.5 maybe. Really, really small amounts of vinyl, but just made a really fun. I just think they turned out really fun. So let's jump in. I'll show you, and I'm going to walk you through Design Space, show you the fonts and stuff that I used, and then we'll just go through the making process and how really simple this project is to make. Let's go. So I am here on my canvas, and I am just going to, I think, add names to these cups. I think that'll be really easy, and it'll make it nice and quick for people to be able to grab and know which cup is theirs. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to come here to text, and we're really going to keep this super simple, but still a really fun, inexpensive project. So I'm going to here at text. I am just going to type in my daughter's name. So we'll type in her name, and then we can just look through fonts for a moment. So I am going to stay here in my Cricut fonts, and I'm just going to unclick current because it doesn't really matter. I'm not 100% sure which one I want to use. So we can just click through and look at a couple of the different options. That's cute, but not exactly what I want. And I'm looking for anything that has the Cricut Access little flag next to it, just because I like to use those whenever possible. So we can just look at, so that's a cute one. Again, not exactly what I'm looking for, but I'm just going to look at a couple of them, and then we'll move on to the next step. All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and use this font. It's like I always come back to Babette. I think it's really cute. And personally, I think it is a great one for anytime you're trying to use a script font here in Design Space, because I just feel like the letters run into each other really well. So I'm going to resize this just so I can look at it closely. The one thing I don't like about this font is if you look, I always feel like, I shouldn't say always, but I often feel like the A gets a little bit large. So I am going to come here. I'm going to go to Advanced. I'm going to click on Ungroup to Letters. I'm going to select just the A. And I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be like tiny. I just feel like with the size of the I and stuff, that just fits a little bit better. So I think that's really cute. So now I'm going to size it to fit the actual tumbler in length. So from top to like the bottom little ridge, this is only like just over 3.5 inches. It's like 3 3/4 maybe inches long. I definitely don't want it to be that long. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to select all of these again. I'm going to go ahead and select attach, which just keeps them all together for me. And then what I say it was like 3 3/4. So let's just make it 3 inches. That'll give us a little bit of extra room. And then I feel like 1.75 isn't terrible. Actually, you know what? I need to make this a little bit smaller because we're going to do an offset on this. So let's actually make it 2.5. So it's not gigantic, but it should still be like in comparison to the length of the little tumbler itself. It should be great. Okay, so now I have this attached. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to come down here to combine. If you haven't been into Design Space recently, they've changed our weld situation here. There are a lot of other options now. And this is one of the options that they have. So they have Unite, which takes all of these. Did it do it? Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this so you can see and I can keep my sizing. So combine and then doing the Unite, you can see it is just like weld. I have no lines here. I have like everything is exactly, I don't have weird cut lines. All these letters are one. And you can see that, you know, it's just like the old weld. But the great thing is now if you come in here, you can click on this and you can actually do undo unite. So that goes back to our, so even though like I copied and duplicated this, it goes back to these being individual pieces again. So even if you save it and move on to another project, you have the option of being able to go in and undo that. I think that's really great. For whatever reason, and I don't know if it's just because we've all spent years like pounding this into people's heads, but for whatever reason, if you select weld, you cannot undo it. Like after you save it, like where you undo, if that makes sense. You used to be able to do that from within the canvas. So now if you just choose to use Unite instead, you shouldn't have that problem. And I don't know, like, again, like I said, I don't know if it's just like a weld is weld, and that is what it is. Okay, so now I have these united, so I'm going to come up here to my offset. We're going to go ahead and select offset, and this is set at a like 0.25. I feel like that's a little bit large, so we'll come down. I think that's cute, but I've got these gaps now here, which I don't really love. So I'm going to come in here for that. I'm going to go ahead and click contour. And I'm going to go ahead and just contour that out. So, I mean, it still leaves this. Actually, let's undo that contour and come back to this offset. Delete that offset layer. I think I'm going to make it just a touch bigger so that that closes off for me. So this A and this, I should just zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit better. So I'm not adjusting my size, but you can still see. And I am a little interested to see, because this is a font, like what is going on with this little, can you see that like just little bump there? I don't know why that's there, but I think it'll be okay. This is just an inexpensive, cute little project. Okay, so we're back here. Let's go to offset again. So we've got the 1.25. Let's try 0.130. And we're close. Let's try 3.5. Okay, there we've got it. So now if I hit apply, then since that's closed, I can go in on that contour and I can get rid of this one and this one. And so now we'll just have that cute solid background behind, and then I can change these to whatever colors. She is getting the cute snowflake tumbler. So let's say I want the background. I kind of think it would be cute to do the offset. There's no pink in this, but I kind of think it'd be cute to do it like a light pink. So if I come up here, these aren't going to be exact, obviously, but I want it like whatever the lightest pink I probably have in my collection because I'm really going to try to use whatever scraps I can use for this. Okay, that's cute. And then since it is a Christmas cup, we could do that red. Yeah, I think that's cute. It's cute and girly and not nothing crazy. All right, so now I have the 2 other cups to do. So I'm going to just zoom this out a little bit and then select both of those. And we'll go ahead and move those up here. And then let's type in our next name. And I'll just get those next 2 typed out. I'll probably choose different fonts. I'll make sure that I list those fonts in the description so that you will be able to find them without any problem. I have all of these laid out. I kept it super simple for the boyses. So just really quick. Bright's font is Lou Mark Com. And that's this nice little font here. And Morgan's font is BFC 3rd grade. So that's what we're going to go ahead and go with. I'll be cutting vinyl for all of these. And the fantastic thing is they are all small enough to use on my Cricut Joy. So I can just get that one out. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to go ahead and select Cricut Joy as my material, and then we'll get out our machine and we will proceed to the making it portion. Okay, now that we have all of our supplies together, I've got all of my just little scraps of materials for my different words and everything, names. This is such a great scrap project. Because I'm using scraps, I am using the green, just little Joy standard grip mat, and I do have a piece of transfer tape. So I have those all ready. So back over here in Design Space, we can go ahead and we can select Make It. Great thing about this project is that there is no need for any type of mirrors or anything like that. So the first color that it's bringing up is our white, and it does have it going this way, so I'm going to have to trim that just a little bit farther so that it's only as wide as the mat itself. I think the mat is what, 4.5? Okay, so we'll go ahead and we'll lay that here on the mat. Now this little piece of vinyl is actually a smart vinyl, but I'm just cutting it on the mat. So we can go ahead and here in Design Space, we can select Continue, and it's going to connect to our machine. And then I can select my material. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to hit Browse All, go ahead and type Smart, and just use Smart Vinyl Permanent. Says what we are using. And then it just is reminding us to make sure that we have our blade in the machine. And then this does automatically load. So when it loads, it does check to make sure that your material is in, like that it's long enough. And then here in Design Space, we're going to go ahead and select Go and let it do its job. Easy. We can go ahead and select Unload. You can see our cut right there, real easy. Go ahead and remove that from the mat. And then our next one we have up is our black. We'll add our black to the mat here. Stick it down. And then this time we are just using, this is just permanent vinyl. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna load this. I am going to up my default on my pressure up from the default to more, because typically with my other machines, when I'm cutting the permanent vinyl, it really likes to not cut all the way through, and so I do it on the chalkboard vinyl setting. But we're gonna just let this one go. this out of the way. Do a little more. So you can see this a little bit better, hopefully. So you can see my cuts here. I've already weeded out all of these. So I have these weeded. I just need to weed the insides of my letters here. And I will say on the more pressure, I do feel like this did a pretty good job. It was a little like catchy here on the dot to brighten, the I in bright. But other than that, I didn't really have any problems with it not cutting cleanly. I do think I bent the tip of my weeding tool a little bit, which is not lovely. All right, so we have that one. I'm gonna go ahead and trim up this green here before I weed it. No need to waste those scraps since, I mean, really, if I was putting his name on 4 more things, probably it would fit on that scrap there. And I just like to weed from the outside, so go to the outside corner and then just go nice and slow, making sure that your letters are sticking down. All right, super quick, super easy. Those are all weeded. So now it is time for our transfer tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a piece of or first let me split these up. So Lila's name is actually the widest and the tallest. So I am going to cut my transfer tape. It's like this is got a hair on it that I do not want to transfer onto my mug. Wipe that off. Okay, so I'm going to trim my transfer tape so that it is at least that big. So we're going to go to here and to there, and that should be big enough. So now I'm going to grab a little mat so that my transfer tape doesn't stick to this, and I am going to get a scraper tool. Okay, so now I have my offset and my transfer tape and my Lila. So what I want to do, because I would love to be able to press this, or not press it, but you know what I mean, apply it all at once, I am going to peel my transfer tape off of my backer. It's not wanting to let go at this corner. And then I'm going to stick it actually to the Lila first. So I'm just using the Gray Grid standard grip transfer tape. This is just normal premium vinyl, permanent vinyl. I'm gonna lift this up. And we're gonna push from the back. How nice. Okay, so now that I have my offset and I have my letters on my transfer tape, I have just this little piece of parchment paper, and I just want to not have my vinyl stick to my other vinyl because vinyl likes to stick to vinyl. So what I want to do is I kind of want to lay this out. So the nice thing about this parchment paper is you can see through it pretty well. So I'm going to lift that up. See how it's looking? I think that looks pretty good right there. Like top to bottom, side to side. So I can push this down, and I've caught the top there. Then I can slide my parchment paper out. And then I can just slide that down and see how nice that works. Okay, we'll go ahead and scrape on the back. now we have the 2 layers of our name, the name and the offset. And this is the little tumbler I'm using for hers. And it's just cute little, like I said, it's just the little snowflakes. And it doesn't have pink in it, but I thought the pink was cute with the red. So I am just using some rubbing alcohol. Ooh, get that on there. Some rubbing alcohol on a lint-free cloth. And then hers does not have a front, side, back, any of that. So I'm just gonna pick a section and wipe it down really well with the rubbing alcohol and just let it sit till it dries. We just wanna eliminate as much dust or anything that might be on there. But we also don't want any moisture behind our vinyl. And now because this is all stuck down, like really if I wanted to, I could apply it just like a sticker. Like I could lift it up and apply it like a sticker. So I'm gonna use a dry portion of this lint-free cloth and just go back over and make sure it's dry everywhere. And then I think I showed you guys before where I just use a like lint roller, but because this isn't like, this does not have to be perfect at all. This is just like a cute little, because her name is, you know, kind of loopy anyway in this font. So I think that looks great. So I'm just going to take my thumb and rub it down. So see, this is not like too big. So even though there's a curve, because I'm doing it vertically, I did not have to worry about any, like cutting any slits in my transfer tape or anything. So now we're just gonna slowly peel back our transfer tape. And look at how cute that is. So now she has her own little tumbler. So my kids are not little, like, let me just say that. They're not little, they're not young, but they do like to take like a hot chocolate with them every morning. So this does say that it is not microwave safe, but it doesn't say, it says to avoid heating elements. It doesn't say that you can't have, and like hot chocolate's not gonna be 1,000,000,000 degrees because they're gonna be drinking it. But I just think that that's perfect. And you can see if I, you know, hold the straw does not come out. Just cute, simple. You can see right on the bottom, $1.78. They're calling it a sippy cup. It's just a straw little tumbler. But for $1.48, so cute. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and finish those other 2. Okay, so now we have 3 tumblers for a total of like $4.50, and they're all personalized. So we have Lila's, Brighton's, and Morgan's. So the only thing that I wasn't thinking about was when I did Morgan. So Lila's, I told you didn't have like a front, back, side, or anything line. So Lila's didn't have like any type of front or anything, and so I just added it to it, and that part then, you know, kind of becomes the front. On Brighton's, there's the Santa belt, and so I just did it on the back side of that, and then just kind of lined it up with this little thing here. So Morgan's, I was not thinking. His is more like Lila's, where it doesn't really have a front or back, but I put his name along the little seam here. So it's technically on the back. So I'm gonna have to ask him if there's something that he'd like added to the front here. Otherwise it's fine. It's just mostly, like I said, so I don't have to hear about kids being like, where's my cup? So-and-so's using my cup. They each have their own. They can be responsible for washing it. And then it'll be ready for them to have hot chocolate each morning on their way to school. So I hope that this was fun for you. I hope that, you know, this is an inspiration to use up some of those scraps. My scrap pile is gigantic, so I will be trying to find different ways to use up all those scraps that I have. It is, Cricut does say to allow the adhesive or the vinyl to sit, I think they say 24 or 48 hours. I say 72 hours, so like 3 days. So, you know, I'm making this on a Thursday. I would just probably set them aside and leave them until Monday. And then the kids could use them on Monday. But yeah, you just want to let them sit. Don't handle them. Don't wash them. You wouldn't want to put anything like warm with the adhesive on there right now. But they will last. I have some tumblers that we did with images way smaller than this that have lasted going on 2 years now. We do not have a dishwasher. We just wash things by hand because we have an old little house that's getting a kitchen remodel. So we wash things by hand. So I do think that that helps. This isn't dishwasher safe anyway, though. And I wouldn't soak it. That's the other thing that I would say. Just don't soak it. But I think that they're really fun. They turned out really cute, super inexpensive. This would make a great and easy friend gift for your kids. Like, how cute and simple is that? But personalized for them, a little class gift, whatever you wanted to do with it. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments. We will, in the comments, go ahead and include the supplies that we use. I'll try to find a link for these specific little tumblers if they have them. I just found them at Walmart. They were just over in the seasonal area. So if you are headed over there, you can look, but I'll see if I can find them online, link those as well. Otherwise, any little, I'm sure Dollar Tree and things like that have, you know, these little tumblers. I just really like that we don't have to worry about the straw getting lost in the car. So have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you don't already subscribe, we would love for you to subscribe here to our channel. Bye.